Hello everybody, today we will be solving an angles problem, and we are going to find the missing values of the diagram. And I will now show you how to solve this problem. First, we need to find the values of y and x. So let's write that down. And for us, we will now highlight that in yellow. Now the next thing we need to do is find what type of angles are involved in this equation. The first angle we can see here is a vertical angle. In which for color coding purposes, we highlight in purple. And since the number 35 is right across from x, it might as well be equivalent. And due to this being a vertical angle, which means a vertical angle is when opposite angles share the same vertex or align perfectly on opposite ends, which is exactly what this is. So what we do here, cross out x, turn it into 35. Since our main focus now is to find y, now we must find the others. The second angle is supplementary angle. Which is basically a 180-degree angle that has another angle inside of it, or two angles, that add up, making 180 degrees. Now, the reason why I say supplementary angle is because the base angle, which is the one that carries out most of the problem, is the 180-degree angle. And that angle is right here. And that may seem confusing because, well, no, it's not really confusing, actually. Either way, just for your information, where are the vertical angles, you may ask? Well, that is right across these two. Yep, the exact example is 35 and x. And the last angle that we will see here is an adjacent angle. The reason for this being that most of the equation, except for the last part that doesn't have the circle on it, which is this part, is part of the entire equation, and they usually just cross each other, turning it into the adjacent angle. Now, when we think of the equation, what might the equation be exactly? And that's what we are going to figure out today. While all of these angles are important, it's most likely that we need to find the equation first. So, let's get to it. So let's get started with y and y, with the two y's. Now, as I said with the supplementary angle before, 35 plus 2y, which is y times 2, equals 180. So, since we now know all of the angles, we can make the equation that we just did. Now, while we're doing this, we must subtract 35. As this is a very useful way to solve missing angles, such as y. And this would be 145, as 180 minus 35 is 145. Now we divide this by 2. And that would be 72.5. So y equals 72.5. Now adding this up, after the equation we now have the information that y equals 72.5 degrees. But just to make sure this statement is true, we will add the angles all together. As this exact angle that we're seeing here right now is 215. So just to make sure, 35 plus 72.5 plus 35 plus 72.5, that equals 215. That's a weird way to add these numbers, but it was to save room. 215 is the real estimate of the total angle, and the exact one is shown on the diagram. So all of the work that we have done right now is how to solve this equation and to find the values of y and x. Thanks for watching.